Coach, you may have been involved in the first ever coach trade of any All-Star game ever. Just want to get your thoughts on that in your mind. First for you, Leo.
Thanos did? Yeah. That you got traded? Yeah. Oh, I got to go look at all that.
Traded.
I have no idea what the teams are.
Second time in history now. Jeez, as a player. My son hit me up after he goes, I've created history. This is awesome. I got traded as a coach. But look, I get to coach with Sabrina. I'm on Caitlin Clark's in Indianapolis. I mean, what a great show. So we'll go out there and have some fun.
You are not ready for this one. Sabrina Ionescu just saw Caitlin Clark pull off the most ridiculous all-star move. And her reaction, it was part bewilderment, part utter awe, and 100% pure meme gold. We're talking jaw on the floor, blink twice if you saw that right energy. Did Clark just rewrite the WNBA all-star rulebook mid-game? And did Sabrina just realize she's living in the Caitlin cinematic universe? Buckle up, because this video is pure chaos, comedy, and courtside clownery you didn't know you desperately needed. Let's get into it.
I'm going to start with you here, Caitlin. You said you might be aggressive on the trade market once this opened up. Is there any player that you're looking to get to? And remember, it has to be apples to apples trade here. Starter for starter, reserve for reserve. The good news is you can't go wrong with this type of talent. Anyone looking to make a deal here?
To be completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Bee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it.
Oh.
Sabrina Ionescu didn't just react, she visibly malfunctioned right there courtside. It was like her brain caught a software update it absolutely did not consent to. One minute she's locked in, the next she's squinting at Caitlin Clark like she just witnessed a unicorn hit a logo 3, toss an alley-oop to herself off the Jumbotron, and then wink at the camera like it's just another Tuesday morning coffee.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game is just days away, but we finally know who's going to be on Team Caitlin Clark and Team Napisa Collier. Let's get into these names. Off the top, it's Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, teammates. Then you got Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, teammates. Hello, rookies. Then there's some top-tier choices in Asia Wilson and Gabby Williams, which is a sneaky good pick. One more special twist for this event. The coaches have been swapped. That's right, Cheryl Reeve is now coaching Team Collier, and Sandy Brondello is now coaching Team Clark.
The WNBA All-Star Game wasn't prepared. Sabrina sure as heck wasn't, and judging by that look on her face, she's probably still buffering, because Caitlin Clark didn't just show up to play, she tore up the genre. The girl pulled a move so audacious it made the entire All-Star Game look like a low-budget indie film, and she was the only one who bothered to read the script. The defenders, glorified background extras. The crowd, they lost their collective minds.
It fell through at the last minute. Are you guys going to make any deals or bets on the game between teammates, or what's that going to be like to be foes for a day?
It'll be weird. Maybe we'll just allow each other to trade off baskets and shoot. But no, I mean, the All-Star Game's always fun. It's not that competitive, and it's just kind of you get to go out there, enjoy, have fun, and just kind of celebrate the accomplishments. So I'm excited for all of us.
Sabrina's reaction, however, deserves an Emmy. Hands clasped to her head, eyes wide as saucers. She was doing that intense internal math like, how do you even defend that without defying the laws of physics? And in that exact moment, everyone in the arena knew this wasn't just a rookie finding her stride. This was a full-blown sneaker coup. Sabrina might be an all-star vet, but she looked like an unwilling extra in the Caitlin Clark highlight reel. And honestly, you knew it. That smile turned smirk, turned complete loss of words, was peak comedy. Think the "this is fine" dog meme, but the whole damn building's on fire.
Jello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina. So therefore, maybe Stewie wants to come on over to my team.
Whoa.
Let me know. Fee, you want to give me Stewie?
We have breaking news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star Game. This is something you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark, because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So
Let's be real, it wasn't just about the move, it was the symbolism. That sequence, that unapologetic stare down, that incredible flair. It wasn't just for the fans, it was a message. And if there was any lingering doubt, it completely vanished the moment the coaching drama blew up in the middle of media day. Oh yeah, that whole mess. Let's talk about how Caitlin Clark basically hijacked the all-star coaching setup like she was playing NBA 2K with the cheat codes on. Lisa Bluter must be somewhere laughing in utter disbelief, while most rookies would be quietly grateful for whatever coach they're handed like it's a subpoena. Caitlin just straight up vetoed the WNBA's original plan, like, thanks but no thanks, I'll bring my own. And in walks Sandy Brondello like it's a family reunion and Clark's already got the champagne chilled. The irony, it was supposed to be Stephanie White's gig, was as past tense. Stephanie coaches like she still carries a flip phone and thinks spacing refers to the type of font. Meanwhile, Clark's game is a pure, unadulterated ball of chaos, creativity, and nuclear precision. She needed someone who gets that, someone who wins, someone who doesn't flinch when a rookie calls their own plays. And in walks Sandy, who by the way has a championship ring, actual strategy, and zero ego about letting a generational talent cook.
All right, so after the teams were chosen, a surprise moment happened. Now, of course, I'm still feeling it because I was two off, man. Two off from picking the entire two teams, but it's all good, man. I'm not tripping. Now, at the end, a trade proposal was capable of happening, right? Now, when I was looking at the rules at the beginning, I was like, dang, they could trade? So that portion of the whole draft happened. And I'm like, dang, who are they going to trade? I wouldn't trade anybody. And of course, Caitlin came up saying, you know, I'm fine. I wouldn't trade anybody. But we can trade these coaches.
Caitlin Clark didn't just flex with that move on the court. She flexed off it too. And the league had to pretend they were totally chill about it. Like, sure, of course the rookie gets to pick her coach. We planned that. Yeah, and I planned to marry Ryan Reynolds at 15. This wasn't a negotiation, it was a direct challenge, and the WNBA blinked. Because let's not ignore the message she sent by essentially booting a legend like Cheryl Reeve off the sideline. That's not just throwing a wrench in the machine, it's dismantling the entire system, live for the world to see. Reeve built a coaching legacy, and Caitlin Clark just strolled in like, cute, but I'm taking Sandy. The wildest part? She was right. A match made in hoops heaven, or at least in the Barclays Center. The result? Comedy gold and basketball brilliance. Caitlin Clark turned the All-Star game into her own personal mixtape. The crowd roared. The cameras couldn't look away, and poor Sabrina Ionescu still looked like she needed a full system reboot. There are levels to this, and Clark just casually skipped ahead of the entire league, all while flashing that signature smirk.
At the end of the draft, Caitlin and Fee had the option to trade any players, but instead of players, Caitlin said that she wanted to trade coaches. Originally, Cheryl Reeve was supposed to be coaching Team Clark, and Sandy Brondello was going to be coaching Nafisa's team. But Caitlin said, nah, let's switch. Fee, you can have your coach. But there might be something deeper. Wonder if Caitlin has been keeping receipts of some of the things that Coach Cheryl Reeve had to say about her, including this little Twitter exchange that happened last year. They were tweeting about the preseason game and that the links weren't being televised. Somebody said, is there a reason why it's not being shown? Another user said, because they only care about Caitlin, and Cheryl Reeve responded, that part. Since fans have been calling her out about this last year and also this year.
And let's not forget how completely iconic it is that Caitlin straight up dared the WNBA to try and stop her. She didn't just challenge the status quo, she bulldozed it, rebranded it, and probably sold NFTs of the wreckage on the way out. The league's official response was basically just throwing their hands up and going, guess she's the boss now. But honestly, can you blame them? Caitlin Clark feels like the greatest trade in WNBA history, except she was drafted, not traded. Think about that. She's so impactful, it feels like someone flipped an entire franchise for her. Like she got airlifted into the league and just started redecorating the entire building. There's something hilariously on brand about a rookie entering the All-Star game and immediately becoming both the highlight reel and the entire plot. Every pass becomes a lead story, every smirk a cultural touchstone, and credit to Sandy Brondello, she's just rolling with it. Cool as ice, calm under pressure, together and absolutely vibing with the most polarizing force the WNBA's ever seen. She doesn't try to change Clark, she amplifies her, and in return, Clark gives her the most watchable all-star performance in recent memory and a VIP ticket to the Caitlin Clark experience.
The WNBA All-Star rosters are officially set, and this live was crazier than you could have even imagined, because what do you mean halfway through they just decided to switch coaches? Not trade teams, trade coaches. So they went back and forth. Caitlin Clark got the first pick, Collier got the second pick. She picked Aaliyah Boston, then she picked Stewie, then she picked Sabrina, then she picked Alicia Gray.
Meanwhile, Stephanie White is probably still somewhere staring at a blank chalkboard, muttering, "What just happened?" The answer? A phenomenon walked in and didn't ask for permission, she just did, and the league realized fast. Either buckle up or get run over. That's why Sabrina Ionescu's reaction matters, because it wasn't just funny, it was real. Whether it's with a ridiculous step back three or a casual demolition of the coaching hierarchy, Clark's just built different. So if anyone's still wondering who runs this league now, Sabrina already gave us the answer with that deer in headlights stare and her jaw on the floor. Her all-star vote probably got revoked for gross negligence. And just when you thought the circus couldn't possibly get any wilder, enter Stephanie White, dragging enough emotional baggage to fill a private jet. The second she landed, it was like Avengers Connecticut Sun edition, only less Marvel and significantly more bland. She brought her favorite Connecticut cast, including DV, and suddenly, Indiana Fever looked less like a fresh start and more like a bizarre corporate relocation experiment.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media.
Let's be brutally honest. Stephanie White didn't come to Indiana to build a championship contender around Caitlin Clark. No, she came to recreate her cozy little comfort zone, like she's wrapping herself in a worn-out sun blanket. Like the Fever didn't just draft the most important player in league history. No biggie, just shove the most generational talent in history into the corner like a glorified decoy while her Sun reunion tour runs the show. Pure genius, right? And she's out here pretending this is some master strategy. Please. This is like being handed a brand new Ferrari and immediately deciding to drive it 20 mph through a school zone while bragging about gas mileage. You can, technically, but it's an act of sacrilege. You can see it on the court. Clark is being coached like she's a 3-and-D specialist from the early 2000s. Just stand there, kid. Maybe you'll get a pass thrown your way. And for what? Because Stephanie White doesn't want to give up the reins of her team. She didn't move to Indiana to let Clark run the show. She moved to Indiana to rerun her own dusty greatest hits, complete with those sluggish post touches and outdated Sun habits that were, let's be real, barely meh back then.
Oh, Dairy Queen, that's Caitlin's nickname for those of us in the know. She's like, look, I'm going to do you a solid. We all know my coach absolutely hates you. It's going to be a terrible, terrible experience for you. You have so much on your shoulders as it is, all the hate that you get, all the pressure to grow the league. And I don't want you to have to deal with all that for your All-Star weekend as well. So, of course, being her star player, I've got her wrapped around my finger. I can deal with all that. She's not going to give me any of that crap. So why don't we just straight up trade coaches?
And somehow she expects Clark to conform to her ancient ways instead of the other way around. This isn't coaching, it's active sabotage disguised with a clipboard. And if you think we're being harsh, just watch one of her press conferences. Stephanie White talks about Caitlin Clark like she's describing a particularly annoying house guest. There's no spark, no genuine enthusiasm, just this barely masked, controlled annoyance pretending to be coaching genius. She praises Clark like she's begrudgingly writing a thank you note to her worst enemy. It's painfully clear. The envy is practically oozing through the mic. She's jealous, and the whole league knows it, because Stephanie White didn't just inherit Caitlin Clark. She inherited a spotlight she desperately didn't want to share, and now she's got to sit through every press conference while reporters grill her about Caitlin first, last, and always. Meanwhile, her sacred, outdated, glacial pace system is getting absolutely roasted under the brightest lights it's ever seen. No wonder she's tense. This was supposed to be her grand redemption arc. Now she's just a side quest in Caitlin Clark's main story.
I don't know if this is allowed, but this is what we're going to do. We decided, meaning the two of them decided amongst the two of them that they were also going to trade coaches. So now Sandy Brondello is the coach of Team Clark and Cheryl Reeve is the coach of Team Collier. So then Clark is like, let's make it interesting. I've got Sabrina. I think Sandy's going to want Stewie. What do you want for Stewie? We'll trade, because trades are allowed. Nafisa says, what do you got to offer? She's like, I can give you Satu. And she's like, no, I don't think so. If I'm giving up my first pick, I want your first pick. I want Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin Clark says,
and here's the kicker. Clark knows. You can see the internal eye roll every time she's asked about adjusting to the system. That forced, tight-lipped smile. Those politically correct answers? Yeah, she's screaming on the inside and we all know it. Because this isn't what she signed up for. This isn't the offensive freedom she had in college. This isn't pace and space. This is dribble pass, wait, reset, maybe get the ball back with 5 seconds on the clock. Thrilling. And poor DV is caught in the crossfire. Brought in like a loyal general from the old Sun regime, but now standing around watching Caitlin Clark drag double teams 30 feet from the basket, while the play is designed for some ancient, inefficient elbow fadeaway. It's like putting Beyonce in the background choir because the band already has a sound. Meanwhile, every other coach in the league is watching this train wreck like it's the hottest reality show. It's clunky, outdated, and honestly, nobody under 40 knows how to operate it. But rather than adapting to the revolution, she's doubling down harder than a blackjack addict on a losing streak. And it's not just ineffective, it's straight up embarrassing when every highlight shows Clark launching logo threes, threading impossible passes, and turning defenders into statues, all outside of the system.
Despite dominating fan votes and receiving a record-setting number of fan votes, Caitlin Clark was only voted 9th in guards across the league by WNBA players for the WNBA All-Star Game. Now, she is going to be a captain in this year's All-Star Game, which is amazing as just a second-year player, but let that sink in for a second. She was voted first in fan votes, the most fan votes of all time for a player, and only voted as the 9th best guard in the league amongst players. That's insane.
You'd think a coach with a pulse would pivot, adapt, evolve. Not Stephanie White. She's clinging to her clipboard like it's the last lifeboat on the Titanic, and praying nobody notices she's actively siphoning off Clark's generational potential, all for the sake of structure. And when she does get called out, she throws in buzzwords like process and chemistry, like she's leading a corporate HR seminar on how to achieve peak mediocrity. There's a reason fans are losing it. They didn't tune in to watch Caitlin Clark set screens and stand in the corner like a glorified mannequin. They tuned in to watch the game bend to her absolute will. They want fireworks. Instead, we're getting practice drills every single game. And the craziest part, White genuinely seems to believe this is all part of the process, that things are developing. It's a coach clinging to the past and a player already 10 years ahead of her time, a system designed to slow things down, and a player who operates at warp speed. It's a mismatch so hilariously obvious it's visible from orbit, and yet White still pretends everything is perfectly fine. Spoiler, it's not even close. And as the season drags on, the whispers are turning into roars. Maybe the problem isn't Caitlin adjusting. Maybe the real problem is that Stephanie White never had any intention of adjusting at all.